Valentine's Day is typically full of flowers and chocolate and jewelry, but when it comes to gold, the precious metal is considered as an inflation hedge, something critical as the Fed tries to fight inflation. Joining me now to talk more about this is the CEO of North American gold producer Alamos Gold, John McCluskey. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
It's great to have you. Now, I want to talk to you about the price of gold. It climbed more than $2,000 and announced last week in November. How has the recent economic landscape impacted your business?
Well, obviously, when the gold price goes up, that's great for our business. Gold's been in an uptrend. If you look at the curve, it's been in an uptrend now for about 9 or 10 years. You could even go back further and say it's been moving higher since it reached its lows in the early 2000s. But as far as trying to look at gold on a monthly or even an annual basis, it's very difficult to try to make a trend out of that because it's a commodity that really turns and trades on long-term cycles.
Now, your company has seen rapid growth. Alamos is valued north of $4 billion and has been trading here at the NYSE for over a decade under the ticker symbol AGI. How are you looking to further expand in 2024?
Well, we've got a couple of really exciting discoveries underway, and that's really driving our valuation. On top of that, we've grown production over the last 3 years, and it will continue to grow as we expand our mining operations and add new ones. So we're currently producing 500,000 ounces of gold a year, thereabouts. And over the next couple of years, as operations expand, we'll take that to about 800,000 ounces of gold a year. So that's really the driving force for us.
Now, your company operates several mines in North America as part of its business. What efforts is Alamos Gold making when it comes to sustainability, and what should stakeholders know?
Well, sustainability has been a cornerstone of the mining industry really for decades, and particularly for gold mining. One of the things that I maintain is that unless you're thinking long term, I don't think it's really it's really all that meaningful to talk about sustainability. So we tend to make investments for the long term. We invest in exploration in particular because we need to have enough reserves in front of us in order to make those long-term plans. And when you're doing that, then you can start to make the capital investments that start to make a difference. In our case, for example, we've invested close to $1 billion in the last few years, putting in shafts at our operation, which means we took away trucks running on diesel fuel and we replaced them with a shaft system which effectively operates off of the grid. And in Ontario, where we're running those mines, that effectively means hydroelectric power. So that's probably the most meaningful way we can go about reducing our carbon footprint. For example, we put a lot of effort into recycling water. Everything we can do effectively to minimize our carbon footprint and protect the environment, we're doing that.
Now, we've made it through another holiday season, including gift giving and holidays like Christmas and Valentine's Day. How does increased demand for gold during these times impact what Alamos Gold does?
Well, there's often said, there's two trades going on in gold. There's the fear trade and the love trade. Fear trade, that's really what drives investment, hedging against inflation, for example, trying to offset political risk. The love trade is one that we talk less about in North America, but it really accounts for about 55% of annual gold consumption. It's gold is purchased by the jewelry industry, and ultimately it's a very high value consumer product. The wonderful thing about gold is that, when you think about all the gold that's ever been produced, most of it is still being used. It's either sitting in vaults where banks use it as reserves, or people have it on their fingers or on their earrings or on necklaces and so forth. It's it's one of these products that it doesn't really have a shelf life. It basically lasts on and on. These are, jewelry, for example, these are gifts that are often given down to the next generation and sort of valued over time.
Valued over time. Well, thank you so much, John, for joining me.